Офигеть, он просто как чупа-чуп споткнулся.
Russian Army Major General Pavel Klimenko, who commanded the 5th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade, was killed in Ukraine. The death of 47-year-old Klimenko was first reported by the Russian pro-war bloggers. The Russian online media Vazhnie Istory managed to confirm the identities of his sisters, who commented on Klimenko's death on social media. The general's sister, Katerina Klimenko, also confirmed in a conversation with Russian media Astra that he had died. Sister Irina left condolences in the comments to the post. Klimenko was accused of organizing torture and collecting money from his subordinates for sending them to the rear. The circumstances of his death are unknown. According to Astra's investigation, Klimenko organized the torture of Russian military servicemen on the territory of an abandoned mine in occupied Donetsk. They were forced to agree to participate in assault groups, and money was extorted from them. Some Russian bloggers criticized Klimenko for the high casualties. There were claims that soldiers in his unit could pay a bribe to be reassigned to the rear. In the comments on a post about his death in a social media group, dozens of messages, likely from relatives of other deceased Russian soldiers, criticized the general. The post has since been deleted. Russia has confirmed the deaths of 7 generals in Ukraine over the 2 years of full-scale war. In fact, the Russian army's losses among generals may be higher. In 2023, it became known that Russian Major General Sergei Goryachev was eliminated as a result of successful actions by the armed forces of Ukraine. Ukrainian soldiers from the 63rd Separate Mechanized Brigade destroyed a Russian BMP and a turtle tank. The Russian army, facing relentless drone attacks, has developed so-called turtle tanks, equipped with makeshift armor resembling a shell to protect against aerial strikes. These modifications are meant to shield vulnerable areas from drone-dropped munitions, showing Russia's desperation to adapt to modern threats. However, Ukrainian forces have quickly found ways to counter these efforts. By adjusting their tactics and using precision-guided drones and anti-armor strategies, they have managed to bypass the improvised defenses, proving once again that innovation and adaptability on the battlefield can outmaneuver even the most creative solutions. You have to know how to shit yourself like that. Russian propagandists saw a tank torn to pieces in a field and immediately arranged a video and photo session near it. They spend most of the video laughing at the tank, saying that instead of dynamic protection, it has sand-lime bricks. Yes, just look. And how it was torn to pieces after hitting a mine, that's how unreliable Western technology is. Eventually, by the middle of the video, they come to the conclusion that it is a Leopard 2. But, after a more detailed study of the hull, they find markings in Cyrillic and understand that something is wrong here. And indeed. After all, this is a Russian T-90M breakthrough. No. I know that Russian occupiers have a fetish for taking pictures in front of their own destroyed equipment and pretending that it is crushed NATO equipment, but here, this is cringe of the highest level. Oh, look, the tank is torn in half. Oh, there are bricks instead of explosive tiles. Oh, the boom is cracked in half. That's crap welding. Oh, so it ran over a mine? Well, I see. It's a Leopard 2? No, not a Leopard 2. By the way, for the woodpeckers with GoPros instead of brains, the best anti-mine protection of Soviet tanks was only in the T-62, and this was its only advantage. In all the others, in most cases, after the explosion of the TM-62, the ammo detonated. If not, this is unspeakable luck. But sand-lime bricks instead of tiles on the T-90M Pro Reeve are still top. As Dmitry Alkonavtovich Medvedev said, the best tank in the world. Well, the best, my ass. Russian troops have started using North Korean Type 73 7.62 254 R-millimeter machine guns. The relevant photos were published by the Russian propaganda telegram channel Voyevoda Vesti. It is worth noting that the use of North Korean small arms by Russian troops was noticed for the first time. The Type 73 machine guns are likely intended to supply the North Korean contingent recently deployed in the combat zone. In addition, the use of such exotic weapons may be due to Russian infantrymen becoming familiar with the weaponry of their neighbors. At the same time, as reported by the Ukrainian Main Intelligence Directorate, the DPRK troops are armed with Soviet and Russian-made assault rifles and machine guns. Type 73s are likely to be part of one of the agreements between the DPRK and Russia, under which the latter was obliged to purchase North Korean weapons. Otherwise, it is unclear why the Russian Federation, which independently produces 6 P-41 Pecheneg machine guns, PKP, and has huge stocks of Soviet-era PKM and PK, would want North Korean Type 73s. The Type 73 is a North Korean infantry machine gun that can be called a hybrid of the Soviet PK and Czechoslovakian VZ.52. Visually, the Type 73 is a mixture of these machine guns with a touch of the British Bren. The date of development and production of the machine gun remains unknown, however. Given the approximate date of production of the PK and VZ.52, it can be assumed that the Type 73 was developed in the 60s and 70s. The Type 73 was distributed far beyond the Korean peninsula and was seen during the Iran-Iraq wars, and later with various groups in the Middle East, including ISIS and the Houthis in Yemen. The machine guns have also been shipped to Africa, and it is known that in 2017 the French Navy seized a smuggled shipment of Type 73s bound for Somalia. In addition to its origin, the machine gun is also unusual because it uses a very rare 7.62 54R cartridge, which is not used in other infantry weapons available in the DPRK. The machine gun weighs 10.6 kilograms and is 1,190 millimeters long. As of today, the Type 73 is being replaced by the Type 82 in the North Korean troops. The world needs Russia, and the decisions of neither Washington nor Brussels' alleged bosses in charge of others can change that. Putin. The world might need Russian oil, but no one in the world really needs an unpredictable dictatorship with nuclear weapons.
The world needs Russia, and neither Washington's nor Brussels' leaders' decisions can change that. The same goes for other decisions. Against a strong current, even a trained swimmer cannot make it, no matter what tricks or even doping they might use. And the mainstream current of world politics is heading in a different direction, opposite to the West.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.